Okay, it's Boxing Day procrastination, and I've been looking at real estate. And this is not a bad way to procrastinate because you actually learn something. So I decided to make a video, and I'm pretty good with real estate. So I've picked some areas where you'd probably buy outright out of Melbourne, move out of Melbourne, buy outright, and not have any home loan or anything like that, and pretty low living costs. I've chosen these areas here for specific reasons. Um, I'll show you where they are on the map and why later. Moe's in there. It's the best value if you can handle the area. And in the city, Rockbank on the way to Melton. Best value for money there. So let's start with the lowest to highest. And Rockbank is going to always expand. That's good. The more estates they open up, the more in this vast, you know, flat area of Melbourne out west, the better, because it means they're trying to sell more blocks and the price is lower, and it is. It's pretty good value. But anyway, let's look at, you can get a block of land. Not bad. It's small, but 120 grand in 2025 going on 2026 is a pretty ridiculous value. I don't know about these tiny homes. They seem a little bit overpriced for what they are. And here's 139,000. Why would you buy 120 for 400? You get a normal suburban sized block of land, 665 square meters for 139,000. Where the hell is that? That's in the right side of town too. If you're going to go Moe, you got to go south. There's all new houses here. Forget north. That's where the shitters are. That's where the reputation is. South is great. It's also on a hill. You've got a great view of Mount Baw to the north and across the Latrobe Valley. That's a good buy. Let's move along because it's going to start with land, of course, first. Land. We're going to keep moving. What's this? It's got some sort of a shed on it. Service road, forget about that. That's a shitter area. It's right along the freeway, actually. Here's some, look at this. This is Rockbank. $515,000 for a 4-bedroom house in Rockbank. That's insane. That's like country prices. We'll see where Rockbank is later in Melbourne. Okay, Yay. I've also looked at Yay. Here's a block of land. We're starting to get there. Yay, why? Well, if you're going to go anywhere in Melbourne, everything's a road trip out of Melbourne to the north, whether it be Shepparton, Albury, Wodonga, Sydney, whatever. Going to the snow even, Mount Buller, it's just a massive road trip to get. Yay is kind of in a good spot for people who travel. Back there again. No, these are bad areas. But very, very cheap. I mean, here's something. 4-bedroom, 2-car. What is that with that's 266. Is that the house only? Has to be. 266 combined with a block of land worth $139,000 is some great value in Moe. I think I saw one called Snow Gum Drive. Let's scroll back up here. No, sorry, wasting your time. Alright, Snow Gum Drive was like a block of land. Here it is actually, 220,000. This is the kind of area where you want to get. It's very similar to that new estate. I just like the name of the street there. Obviously has a view of Mount Baw over the Latrobe Valley there. There we go, very nice. Looking over all those shitters to the north. So this is where all the new area. Anyway, that's for that area, if you can handle living in Moe. The reason why I look at these big urban centres out of the major cities is because that's where, the hell's this? Because that's where you can have a city lifestyle. Townsville is really going off right now because it's, not a big city, but it's still a city. That's why we've also got Gordon here. Blocks of land, they're next in line. This is my pick. Gordon is in a bit of a lull area. See, it's between Balan, which is towards Ballarat, up on top of the plateau. I'm always picking on top of a plateau because of green summers, reasonable temperatures. I hate 40-degree days, just no grass, just twigs, and it's just a horrible landscape anywhere inland from, in Victoria. Don't like it. Too hot. So up on Plateaus is where I've picked, and Gordon is about 500 odd metres above sea level on the way to Ballarat between Ballan. And everyone's forgotten about it, because if you go to Ballan, great, it's booming and it's expensive, forget that. But then if you're going to go further west, you might as well go all the way to Ballarat. So this is why this area is underrated, very good value. $250,000 for a block of land, or for 1,500 square metres, incredible. Looks like somebody's going to develop it there. That's land. Okay. Next, we haven't got through all the cities yet, have we? Here's we're in Gordon now, which I totally recommend. Green all year round. And where's the rest of all the properties, please? Okay, well, I don't know. There's nothing on the maps, perhaps. Let's go and have a look. We know where Maui is out here. Now, why is Maui still okay? Because it's a 1 hour drive to Dandenong, and you can drive to Dandenong, take 1 hour if you live in one of these stupid suburban deserts out here like Clyde. It's just a nightmare in traffic, so forget about that. Or Pakenham even, You don't want to bother with that. Don't forget this area. Anything out here or beyond, that's why Rockbank is the best value for money. Somewhere over here on the way to Melbourne. Where are we? Not up there. Somewhere over here. That's Melton, isn't it? Yeah, it's Melton. So here's Rockbank. Somewhere around here. There it is. That's it. Beautiful. Best value for money. And if there's no peak hour traffic, it takes you 22 minutes to get to the CBD over the Westgate Bridge. Incredible. And here's Ballan, right? You go up right there. This is booming because it's nice and green and leafy at 500 metres above sea level, up the Pentland Hills, which is these mountains. They're not really mountains. They're just the edge of a plateau, like the Leederberg Gorge or the Brisbane Ranges. They're just the edge of the Pentland Hills. As you can see, they're just the edge of they're gorgeous at the edge of the plateau. So Ballan, oh yeah, you can still drive to Melbourne. It's just not far from Melton. And you've got this beautiful area, so that's why this is booming. And then anyone who goes further west say, why would I bother? I'll just go straight to Ballarat. So Gordon gets missed, which is right here. There it is. Great value. Cool summers, or green all year round. That's the best value out there. Now, where else did I pick here? We've seen Gordon, Maui, Rockbank. We've seen a bit of Yea. There wasn't much there. Let's see where Yea is. I said it's a great spot if it's reasonable distance from Melbourne up here. So there's much closer than Shepparton. Here it is. Here's Yea right here. There. Really nice spot too on the Goulburn River, by the way. That's really underrated. Good value there. Same prices as, I don't know, let's say Gordon. Now, also, if you really want to live out of town, you want the best view in the world, this is another high plateau here, 600 odd square metres. I put Ruffy, but nothing came up. That was the last place. Here it is. It's just bang in the middle of this plateau that's about 600, peaks at around 650, 700 metres above sea level. Higher than the plateau that Ballarat's on, actually. But look at this west ridge. It's not really a ridge. It's the edge of a plateau. When you drive past, they look like mountains. They're not. It's the edge of a plateau. You get a place here on top of the hill and look out to the east. You're looking straight onto Mount Buller across here. So this is a really good spot if you want to be out of town. Very good value for money there, of course. But in town, I can't knock Yea. Really good place. So that's where we all are on the map here, and I've covered all bases, so I better get to work. Damn it. I know, I'm working. See ya.